Hello everybody, it's your boy the Punk Otaku Scribe, and man, it's kind of a big week. This weekend, The Little Mermaid came out, and we got several trailers for some really big and interesting things. You got the Kong Skull Island trailer, finally, the Barbie main trailer, Spider-Man 2 gameplay, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 trailer, with a crossover with Lower Decks. That's all so huge. And while all of these were coming out, I kept choosing each one to talk about individually in a video. One would come out and go, I'm going to talk about that. No, I got to talk about that. No, I got to talk about that. I want to talk about all of it. And so I will. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk about each one individually in this video, and I'm going to compartmentalize them with bookends, with like a little intro title card. That way, I'm not just endlessly rambling about each and everything all at once. I'm just going to create concise thoughts for each topic, because all of it's got me really excited. And when I get excited, I tend to just jump all over the place when it comes to my thought placement. So, without further ado, here we go with the first topic. Hit it, editor. I just remember that that's me.
You know what they called that place? Skull Island.
I realized in the intro, I just said the Kong Skull Island trailer, as if the trailer for the movie or something. I didn't specify, so I'm sorry about that. No, it was the animated series trailer. It's a series that's going to be on Netflix. It is related to the MonsterVerse, but I don't know if it's canon to the MonsterVerse. But the Kong in this series is the Kong from the MonsterVerse films. I like the MonsterVerse. In fact, actually, I'd even go as far as to say I love the MonsterVerse. But it's really weird. You know, a project will be announced, and then we'll get no news. It'll be radio silent. We'll wait forever for something. Then they'll just throw a bunch of stuff at us at once in terms of news. For this series, it was announced shortly after Godzilla vs. Kong had come out, and it was set to be animated, and I think it was set to be an anime, though looking at this trailer, it doesn't quite look like an anime. It has more of that current style of American animation that we're seeing now, you know, with like Invincible or Legend of Vox Machina. It looks like one of those shows. Not quite an anime to me. But anyway, yeah, it was announced, and it was said to be animated. It was going to come out for Netflix, and it was related to the MonsterVerse. And after that, nothing. Radio silence, which was to be expected because that's how the MonsterVerse has sort of been operating lately. Do you remember the wait for the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer? I do. So, yeah, this thing is not very long. It's under a minute, but what it shows is kind of intense, actually. No indication on how, like, mature or violent it will be. You know, the MonsterVerse movies themselves aren't too graphic. They're, you know, insanely violent in terms of, like, big-scale monster violence, but, you know, it's not something that, you know, a kid can't watch or anything like that, you know. But, yeah, it's looking really intense, and I'm really excited for it. Though, what I'm concerned about is what the point of it's going to be. Again, if it is canon to the MonsterVerse, what does that mean for the MonsterVerse moving forward? And if it's not, which it's fine, it doesn't have to be, but will it at least warrant being, you know, an entry in the MonsterVerse pantheon, so to speak, in terms of its media? Now, what I find odd is that it's on Netflix, because they have that Godzilla live action series coming out for Apple TV Plus, and I have this on Netflix. It kind of seems like they're spreading it all around, all these different MonsterVerse medias. But yeah, only time will tell. Maybe we'll get a longer trailer later on down the line. But yeah, Kong Skull Island animated series looks good.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
We have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
So the clip that I just played there, that I opened with, was from the Barbie main trailer that dropped this week. Called the main trailer because the trailers we've gotten before were not trailers, they were teasers. They've been doing that a lot lately with movies, where they'll release a teaser that is like a minute and a half long, but it's not the full trailer, it's just a bit of a taste of the trailer to come. They're making trailers for trailers now. Whatever. But no, the Barbie movie, when it was announced, it was something that was like, okay, I mean, that was inevitable, and it's kind of a surprise we didn't get it yet. You know, and I said to myself, I don't think that's something I'm going to go see. And then they cast Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as the main Barbie and Ken. And I was like, okay, it kind of got my attention after that. So, okay, I like both of them. Maybe I'll check it out. And then they started dropping things. Those teasers, this main trailer. And the look of it floored me. It is not at all what I expected it to look like. It looks kind of avant-garde, a little artsy. Not in the content, of course. The content is what you would expect from a movie that is based on the Barbie doll, but the scenery, the imagery, it's kind of artsy in a way. It looks kind of cool. And when I saw that drew me in even more. So now I'm definitely going to go see this. I'm not excited for it or anything, but I am intrigued. So I don't know if I'll see it opening weekend or not, but I mean, that cast, the way it looks, and some of the jokes in this trailer, he's kind of got me interested. I'm definitely going to check this one out. One thing that I will say that I find kind of funny is that they're making reference to how people, or kids rather, treat Barbies. Like Kate McKinnon is this Barbie that, you know, has her haircut and it's got like marking drawings all over her. I think that's funny that they're kind of referencing that, you know, the kid culture side of playing with Barbies. I think that's kind of cool. What I find interesting is the concept. So when it came to something like the Lego Movie, there was spoilers for the Lego Movie if you haven't seen it yet. It turned out to be the imagination and play of a kid in his dad's basement, right? There was a real world, and then there was the Lego world. Now, they're doing that same thing here, sort of, but it's not like there's, like, people above the Barbie world, and then the Barbies and Ken world is down here in the playsets and their toys. It seems like the real world is just something that they can just go to in the trailer. So I guess we'll see how this world works. That's kind of interesting. But, you know, there's those shots in the trailer where, and I'll put them up right here if I can find them, where they're on animated backdrops, and that's them traveling to the real world. So I'm interested to see what that is, how they explain that, what that's supposed to be. Because in the Lego Movie, it was like a wormhole or something. And this, it looks like it's just another country. I don't know. But yeah, the Barbie movie looks really interesting. Greta Gerwig, I've not seen any of her films. I'm aware of her. I'm aware of Lady Bird, but I didn't see it. But yeah, you know, it looks like she's putting her own image on it, because it looks really interesting. But yeah, the Barbie movie, bring it on.
start the engine sometime soon, Erica?
Surprise!
Okay, bear with me on this one, but I do like some of this new Star Trek stuff. Not all of it. But quite a bit of it. And my favorite of it are Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. After Strange New Worlds Season 1 ended, it was shortly announced after that they would be doing a crossover with Lower Decks, and they would feature two characters from it, Boimler and Mariner, the two, I guess you could call them main characters of that show. And that blew my mind. That blew all our minds. Like, what does that mean? What are the implications? You can't do them animated, can you? Like, would they dare do that? No, they would be in live action. And those two characters would be played by Jack Quaid and Tawny Newsome, respectively, who also voiced those two characters in the show. So, the trailer for Strange New Worlds Season 2 drops, and they appear. And, I mean, they look the parts. And I got excited seeing that shot of them, but then I immediately started having reservations. One reservation is, does that crossover make sense? I mean, in the context of the episode, I mean, they could explain it and maybe it could work, but Strange New Worlds is supposed to be pre-Star Trek, the original series. And I was under the assumption that Lower Decks was in the current timeline of Star Trek. If I'm incorrect about that, let me know. Because I know that Riker has appeared on Lower Decks, and he appears younger. But considering how far in the past Strange New Worlds is in comparison to the original series, I don't really see how they could make that work. But let me know down in the comments if there is a way that they can make that work. But I'm kind of excited regardless because, like I said, I really like Lower Decks. So I'm really interested to see what they do. But my second reservation is, even though they were in the trailer only for a few seconds, I kind of got the implication that they weren't quite the characters from the animated show, personality-wise. Boimler is, kind of neurotic, sure, but he's also very studious. Like, he's not very, I don't remember him being very, I guess I'll just use the term squirrely. I don't remember him being so squirrely and nervous. Studious for sure, and, like, very by the book. But he didn't, like, stutter or anything. Not that I know of, not a lot anyway. And then with Jack Quaid in the Strange New Worlds trailer, he's kind of doing, like, early Huey from The Boys, where he's like, long live and prosper, like, I mean, he could just be nervous to meet Spock, I guess, that would make sense, but it doesn't feel like Boimler from Lower Decks. And then Tawny Newsome, from what I could gather from the trailer, from what I can remember of it, she wasn't as out there and brash as Mariner is in Lower Decks. Not that I saw. She still could be, but that's not what I took from that. So that has me really concerned. Regardless, though, I am excited for it. I like Strange New Worlds. I like Lower Decks. I own Lower Decks Season 1 on Steelbook. I love it. And then Strange New Worlds, this Season 1, like, floored me. It was such a breath of fresh air after what we have had from, Discovery Seasons 3 and 4 and Picard. Yeah, Season 1 of Strange New Worlds was a breath of fresh air. And I'm really hoping that Season 2 continues that trend to be what we've needed for Star Trek for a long time.
Asked for an equal. And this is what you find.
You sure?
He's got big teeth.
So do I.
So I may have been a bit too happy to see this drop, and maybe just a little too happy. I wish I had footage of myself like screaming at the TV or monitor or something. I don't, but man, I was way too happy for this thing. I didn't see it during the showcase. I didn't watch the showcase, but I did hear that it dropped, and as soon as I did hear it dropped, I went and watched it. And I was just glued the entire time. They're doing a lot of interesting things, it looks like. Some Venom suit game, not Venom suit, Black suit gameplay, some powers with that. Venom is in the game, voiced by Tony Todd, Candyman, which is super cool. Venom is in the game and is confirmed to be a villain. So I really wonder how that's going to work if, you'll lose the powers eventually and can't use them anymore in the game, or if you defeat Venom, then you get the suit. I don't know, because it'll be a real shame if they give us the black suit powers and then just tell us that we can't use them again. But I'm sure that they'll implement some way to continue to use them after the game is said and done. But yeah, this looks kind of crazy. The section that they showed was mainly a QuickTime event section. It looked like watching a movie. It was kind of awesome. But I wish we'd gotten some more of the actual like combat. Maybe a boss fight in there a little bit. Not a QuickTime boss fight. I don't mind QuickTime events, but I wish we had gotten just something that was more of involved gameplay rather than the QTE. But hey, that's fine. They had the stealth section with Miles in this, and it looks more or less the same from the other two games. They didn't really show anything new that I could pick out, because I think the web tightrope thing you could do in the previous two games too. What I did take note of was that Miles has a wingsuit now, which I don't remember him having in the actual Miles Morales game. So that's kind of neat, and he was like flying through rings. It looked really cool. Yeah, man, I am stupid excited for this thing. November can't get here fast enough. And from what I understand, I think it's going to be a PS5 exclusive, which is a shame, for people that are still on PS4 and enjoy those other two games that were on PS4, including Miles Morales, and would like to continue with the franchise. But hey, that's the industry now. What are you going to do? Yeah, PS5 exclusive, I think, is what they're going with here for this thing. But yeah, man, the fall can't get here fast enough, and it's looking like the only thing I got to hold me over until then are the other two games, which, hey, having to replay through those games is a good problem to have. Spider-Man 2, man, bring it on. So those are all my thoughts on all the big trailers that dropped this week. What did you think about all the big trailers that dropped this week? Are you excited? Not excited? Do you think the Star Trek crossover will make sense? Did you think Spider-Man 2 looked cool? Are you interested in the Barbie movie? Are you interested in the Kong series? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. Be sure to follow all my socials down in the description. And I've been the Punk Otaku Tribe. I'll see you in the next one.
Hey Jennifer, I see you skating right down the street. Converse all stars in her ripped up jeans, looking straight out of